Hey, what's up everyone? It's Jake here from Skritter. I hope you're all having a fantastic week. In this episode, we're going to be covering how to set up a Skritter Classroom, how to add assignments to a classroom, how to invite students to a classroom, what it looks like when a student joins the classroom, and how we can monitor progress once they join and they start studying using Skritter. The reason that we're making this video today is because a new semester has started, lots of programs are coming into Skritter, and after talking to them, I've noticed a couple questions that are coming up over and over again, and I thought this might be a really interesting and helpful video to cover that. It's also going to be really helpful for anyone that wants to be a content creator that works with Skritter. As we mentioned in our updates video, we have a brand new affiliate program. You can find a link in the description below with some details, and you can fill out an application if you'd like to be involved there. So if you want to create content on Skritter or you want to share content with your classroom, then this video is for you. So without further ado here, let's kick off this video. All right. So now we are on the computer, we're logged into Skritter with our accounts, and it's time to get things set up. So the first thing that we need to do is on the top right of the screen, you'll find language preferences, there's a little help icon, and there's also your username. Click on this to go down. You'll see that one of the options here is Classroom, and that's going to open our classroom in a new tab. And so I'm going to put in account. And here you'll see that I already have some classrooms set up. I actually used this program when I taught Chinese. So it was a super fun experience. It worked really well. But today we want to set up a brand new classroom. And the way that we do that here is on the top right, new classroom. And we're going to enter a name for our classroom. So this is going to be Hi YouTube. And this will be a Chinese classroom. And here the description will be setting up a classroom for the first time. So once I'm done with all this, I can create my classroom. So when we're ready, create classroom. And here you'll see that we are on the main screen of the Skritter Classroom. You can see that I'm a member in the classroom. I'm an admin, so we don't have any other students in here. On the left-hand side, you can see the assignments. These are just deck lists, whether they be textbooks that you're signing or individual things that you're creating for your students specifically. And down here, we also have some tools. So we can create new accounts using Skritter Classroom. This is really nice if you have a class roster and you want to get ahead of your students when you have your activation code. You can go ahead and do that. This is great for younger students, or if you just want to have kind of full control over everything so that there's no excuses. Students say, I don't know how to sign up for my classroom. You can go ahead and create those for them. You can invite existing accounts. So we'll do that in a minute. Obviously, we can't manage any members just yet because there's no one in here and we can't see any progress. So if we wanted to, we can delete the classroom, leave the classroom. We can also edit the classroom, as I said before. But for right now, let's add an assignment to this classroom. So super easy to do. We click the edit button and we are going to press this big add assignment button. So now we need to find a vocabulary list, and we can do this with our official lists. We can search public decks. We can also do custom lists. So today, let's say that my classroom is teaching integrated Chinese, and it's going to come up with all of the options that have integrated inside of the name. We're going to choose Integrated Chinese 1 4th edition, very popular textbook here in the United States. It's going to pull up a pop-up that says, are you sure you want to choose this for your classroom? We're going to say, okay. And now the Integrated Chinese textbook is assigned. So if we click on this textbook, you'll see that it is totally blank. But if we wanted to, we could go in and edit the settings. So from here, we can actually choose which lessons students are studying from, which parts they might be studying from, and other additional settings like section movement and limit study parts. These are some advanced options. We do have some more documentation on this on our docs.skritter.com website. So we're not going to touch any of these settings right now, but they are there if you need them. So I'm just going to cancel out here and I'm going to go back to my classroom. All right, so now that we have our classroom set up and we have an assignment created, it is time to invite some students to the classroom. And we can do that down here on the tools area by clicking on this invite existing accounts. This is going to give us two options. One of them is to send out a mass email or individual emails. So here's going to be comma separated emails, or you can just copy the link. Now I'm going to use the link option here so that I can just quickly do this. I don't really want to check in my email. So I'm going to copy paste this link. I'm going to close this out, and I'm actually going to switch really quick. So now I'm going to do this from the student perspective. So I have my classroom. We have integrated Chinese set up. So I'm going to log in. This is a totally blank account. I have 0 items studied, I have 0 lists studied, I'm studying in Chinese, but I haven't done anything on this account yet. So what I want to do here is I want to take the URL that the teacher sent me, and I'm just going to copy that into the browser. I'm already logged in, and so now it's going to have a classroom request. So when I click on this, it's going to say join a Skritter Classroom. So here I will put in my name, Jake Gill, and I will press join. It's going to say, congratulations, you've successfully joined the classroom. And I can press the Start Studying button right away, but what I'm just going to do is I'm going to go here to the home screen and just show you that the difference now by joining this classroom is that I've automatically received the Integrated Chinese 1 4th edition study deck. It's on my account, it's ready to go. So as a teacher, when you create these assignments, the really nice thing is the students just come in and they're going to get these things automatically. So presumably here, like I could just press study and I could start studying as a student. And you know what? I'm actually going to do that really quick here because I want to show you what the progress looks like. If we go back to the classroom in a moment, I need to start a new subscription. I am a horrible student and I haven't actually set up my account yet. So typically what happens when we have a school program is we'll send out an activation code. And this is something that you can add directly on the sign up screen, or you can add it when you, if you already have an account, it'll credit some time. So I'm going to go in and show you exactly how to do that here really quick. This is a little fun side quest. So I'm going to go into subscriptions and I'm going to press activation code. I'm going to enter my Hi YouTube code. And my account now expires on October 31st. Now that's a 1-of-1 code that I created, so no one try and use that activate code. It's just not going to work. Sorry. All right, so now I can go back here and I'm going to press the study button. And obviously for students, this is going to be their experience as well. So what Skritter is doing right now, if the students aren't on the mobile application, is it's fetching a bunch of brand new words to study. So because we have a brand new account, we have a new deck, everything is fresh, then it needs to find and populate some items in here. Okay, so when this comes up on the website, there's going to be 4 different card types on Chinese. We have definition cards, we have reading cards, we have writing cards, and we have tone cards. So now it's going to ask me some items, and I'm just going to go through these really quick. Definition here is miss or young lady. We don't use this in China. This is name. So now I'm on a writing card, so I'm going to trace the stroke order here. And this is every new card on Skritter is going to show you the stroke order. It's a little bit of a teaching mode. And the second time I get it, it's going to be active recall. So I'm going to have to see if I can remember how to do this. And I'm just writing with the mouse right now. If you have a Wacom tablet, that works too. I don't have mine set up. So, you know, it works. It's not a total one-to-one muscle representation of the pen, but if you can write it on a mouse, you can write it on paper. So the idea here obviously is in class, you're spending all this time on dialogues, on grammar, on pronunciation, on practicing, on doing kind of small pair drills. So then students can come home and rather than having to fill out a workbook or waste tons of paper, you can just use Skritter. It's really going to help them. So we're teaching all the stroke order here. They don't need to spend countless hours looking stroke order up. I'm going to finish Xiansheng and then I'm going to make sure that my progress is saved. Ooh, I just keep going, sorry, autopilot. Save, and then I'm going to press that button. I'm going to go home. You can see that I've made some progress here. So I have a 1-day streak going. I've studied 42 items for my day, and you'll see that my list progress is going up. So now, if I were the teacher and I go back to my classroom, here we go, and I refresh my classroom, you will see that we have another student. We have a student that's joined the classroom, so there's 2 members now, Teacher Gao and Jake Gill. And if I go in here now and I look at the assignments, you can see that the student is on volume 1, lesson 1, adding, and they're 4.2% added. Now, this is a little ambiguous, okay? Because this adding lesson progress is for the entire textbook. All right, so this actually becomes quite problematic if you really want to be tracking in specific detail or you want to see how students are doing on specific kinds of assignments. And this is actually something that came up over and over again in some of the stuff that I've been working on with teachers this week and last week and while school is starting out. So the question that we've gotten is, how do I monitor progress or say, I'm using integrated Chinese, or I'm using, whatever textbook, but I don't teach all the words inside of the textbook, or I want to add extra words to the textbook on top. What's the best way to do that? Okay, so here, as you can see in the assignment, you can see my progress. But like I said, it's a little bit obscure, like 44.2% added. I'm on volume 1, lesson 1, but like how far am I really done with this lesson? How much work has the student done? What percentage here, like where does this all add up? So a way that we can actually do this as a teacher is, and I would highly recommend you using this if you're considering doing classroom, using Skritter Classroom and making assignments, is you can actually create more customizable lists, and you can do it really easily. So there's 2 different options here on Skritter to do this from kind of a teacher perspective. And this works for any kind of account, but is really useful for teachers. So if I wanted to make a list of integrated Chinese words, but I didn't want to use every single, I didn't want to give the full textbook right away. What I can do is I can browse lists, and I can type in integrated Chinese again, just as my example. I'm going to find 4th edition. And what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to copy this list. And by pressing this copy button in the bottom left here, I'm creating a version of this textbook. So now this is my textbook. I own, quote unquote, the textbook, and that means that I can do whatever I want with the list. And now you'll see that the avatar is on there. This is made by Teacher Gao. There's all the words in there. There's all the things. So now what I can do really quickly is I can edit this list. And now I can change it. And I can maybe say, week 1 vocab. And now on the section level, rather than typing in 30 words or whatever and doing this, I can actually just delete these other section contents. We can always add more back in later. But now I'm down to volume 1, lesson 1, and I can save. And so now this list has gotten significantly smaller, okay? And I can actually further go into this, and I can do more degrees of customization. So if I say didn't teach 小姐 in my classroom, I can delete it. Maybe I don't want to teach India, Canada, Mexico, New York, Beijing, any of these things. And then because I want my students all to know, so I'm going to say, we're going to add 1 extra thing. 高老师. Not an entry. So cool thing about Skritter, if we ever don't have an item in our system, we can add it. So 高老师, Teacher Gao. And I can add a word. And then it will be in our database, and it will be defined, and every single student that comes in and studies it will also get it. Okay, so I'm going to save this contents now, and you'll see that my lesson now is 20 words. Everything is assigned. So I'm going to refresh here. This is actually a little bit of maybe it's a bug. There's something we can improve upon it. But if I refresh this now, you'll also see that there's a new option on the bottom left here, and that is assign to classroom. So we can go into classroom.skritter.com and do those assignments. But we can also actually just do this directly from our account. So if we're managing vocabulary or creating new lists, deck lists, then we can just do it directly from here. Just do assign to classroom, and then it's going to show all the classrooms that I am an owner of or an admin of, and I'm going to go over to this Hi YouTube, and I'm going to assign it there, and it's going to say week 1 vocabulary successfully assigned. All right, so now we're going to switch back over to our student for 1 second. And I'm going to refresh my page, and you will now notice that week 1 vocabulary has been also added to this testing code account. So these are 2 different ways that you can add assignments to a classroom. This is a really easy way to get students integrated into using Skritter so that there's no excuses along the way. And just finally here, I want to show one other thing, and then we're going to wrap this video up. If you want to monitor general progress in Skritter, so right now you can see the deck list progress. You can see how your students are doing individually. But if you wanted to, say, make it more about the long-term retention, so if students are doing the reviews every single day, or see how many characters they're learning, or any kind of fun things, there's so many different interesting ways that the teachers over the years have kind of inspired people. And in fact, if you are a teacher watching this and you've used this before, let us know in the comments below some of the ways that you're using this. But you can go into progress here on the left-hand side. And then what this is going to do is it's going to show the progress for the week And so you can set your date ranges, you can see how many minutes they've studied for, you can see how many items they've added, right? And there's just a variety of different ways to view this stuff. But this is a more kind of top-down view of everything on the account rather than just individual assignment progress. So I'm going to return back to my main site here and just go back over here. And there you have it. In that 10-ish minute video, we learned how to set up a classroom, how to create an assignment, how to invite students. You got a small taste of what it's like to, on the student side of things, in terms of things automatically being applied when you create a classroom. And you also learned how to view progress. So if you are interested in using Skritter in your classroom, this works for Chinese and Japanese. Be sure to go to skritter.com/institutions. You can request an obligation-free trial. Once students have signed up, once you have signed up, you can also download the Skritter Write Chinese and Skritter Write Japanese applications. These work as well, and honestly, I think they're even more suited for the classroom with the learning mode that teaches you the stroke order and helps you trace on top, with the quizzes, or the tests rather, the test activities that are super dynamic in terms of students being able to drill short term. And obviously there is still the same old good spaced repetition, do cards every single day, managing your inventory of things that you need to learn and master and doing it as efficiently as possible. Thank you all for watching, and we will see you in the next one. 谢谢大家，拜拜。